Yeah.
What does Dr. John Jaquish eat?
Pretty much all steak. That's
All
it.
steak.
Yeah. Yeah. Red
That's
meat
it.
every day,
Steak.
7 days a week.
Sorry,
Now
just
I like
steak.
just steak.
Huh.
I really like fasting also. So on non-training days, sometimes I'll go 4 days with eating absolutely nothing. Like I might be water fasting. Sometimes I even dry fast. So that allows regeneration of the cells in the digestive tract. It's fantastic. Like fast. Also, when you get off of carbohydrates, you're never hungry. You only eat because you have to fuel basically for your training and refreshing cells in your body. So yeah, I've always been a huge fan of fasting, and it's so most people that see me walking down the street. I mean, I don't point at myself and say, "Oh, I'm the perfect example." I kind of have reddish skin. I burn a little easily, and I get too much sun. I actually try to get out in the sun quite a bit, but I don't use put any vegetable oil on my food, so I almost never get a sunburn. I was in Mexico with a wellness group. Everybody's like putting sunblock all over themselves. I put a hat on because I don't have hair on the top of my head, just to keep the burn from the top of my head. But the rest of me, like I'm like, no, I don't use sunblock. So either not eating anything or eating red meat on training days primarily.
Right. So, are you a? I believe you also eat fat.
A
I mean,
lot, yeah.
yeah. So, are you a hyper responder? Of course, there's a big debate, and there's a lot of
Oh,
back and forth on it.
yeah, you mean
Uh,
the really really high levels of cholesterol of
exactly,
low
not just
density.
cholesterol, LDLC.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's a huge debate, and some people are able to do very well with it. The thing with this is that um, so there are in some metabolic situations you say that okay, higher level of LDLC perhaps is injurious to your health, and there have been studies to suggest that okay, the cumulative amount that you have over your lifetime sets up to increase your risk. However, that's in the setting of possibly the standard American diet, right? And
you
the way
got
that
it.
people
I
eat.
was just getting ready. You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like low density lipoprotein, LDL cholesterol, formerly referred to as bad cholesterol. It's not unless you have high triglycerides. If you have high triglycerides and high
And that
LDL,
comes
you're
from
in bad shape.
carbohydrates and refined carbohydrates, and
Right,
that it plays
right,
into the picture.
right. So like sometimes when people say, "Oh, you should eat a lot of animal protein, but then your carbohydrates don't matter. You can eat fruit and honey." No, you cannot. Like when you want to go down the low carbohydrate path, stay there. Don't mess with it. Don't every once in a while just add a ton of sugar, because that's a recipe for a cardiac event, for a stroke. Stroke primarily when you have high triglycerides and high LDL. Like you never want to do that. So that's the one caution.
Humans have grown up with everything. They have grown up, through evolution and through the ages, thousands of years.
Mm.
You could potentially find people who were largely vegetable eaters, but they
For
definitely
about two
had meat
million
sources.
years, for 2 million years, we have been the apex predator. And on average, there's a great study. On average, humans ate 4 ounces of carbohydrates per year. So
Yeah. That's
carbohydrates is like
nothing.
the last couple hundred years. That's it.
Yeah.
That's we never ate that.
Yeah, when farming
'Cause
was
there weren't. I
farming,
mean,
yeah.
in fact, most fruits and vegetables were selectively pollinated. Like they didn't exist. An original strawberry is like smaller than my thumbnail. If you see like like what an actual strawberry looked like before they start genetically messing with it or cross pollinating different types of strawberries to make them bigger and sweeter. So like all our fruits and vegetables are just some sort of Frankenstein creation that botanists have been working on for a long time. Basically, when cities first started to become a thing and people lived in close quarters, especially in like high militarization areas, like in Europe, they couldn't slaughter the animals and get the meat into the cities quick enough before it would spoil. So the kings would say to the farmers, hey, can you come up with some kind of plant that'll last a long time so we can hand it out to the people in the village? And, we'll tell them it's healthy. Like, they don't know. And so ultimately, it was supposed to be cheap crap food, and it continues to be cheap crap food. One of the reasons you'll never hear a government endorsing high protein, low carbohydrate nutrition is because a lot of governments feed their people, or at least they're in control of the budget. Even in the United States, 76%.
There are all economical matters in play here, and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like
definitely. And the FDA has to look
76%.
at they need to look at that. Okay, how
Right.
are we going to feed 300 million people? So this sort of all plays into the picture,
Let's just
although
look at the
maybe
United
changing a
States.
bit.
Just the US. Like, forget about everywhere else. We're a wealthy country. At least we were. We're a wealthy country, and 76% of the people in this country right now have their monthly budget determined by the federal government. They either get Social Security or they're on welfare or some type of government assistance. Now, I realize there's a huge difference between welfare and Social Security. Everybody gets all upset when I put the two next to each other, but from a budgeting standpoint, it's the same. So let's say the government budgets maybe $2 or $3 a day for people to have salads and Twinkies, and they want to tell them it's healthy. Well, they're going to keep telling them it's healthy because they don't want to come up with $25 a day for ground beef and steaks. They can't afford it. No government can afford that. Like, if the United States can't afford it, I promise you, nobody can.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
the
yeah.
recommendation is never going to change.
So we talked about variable resistance, and you have this program 3X that you have said that it improves your muscle building efficiency by 3 times, not percent, not 30%, 3 times, 300%.
Yeah.
And can you walk us through your program?
Yeah. There's pushing muscles one day, pulling muscles the next. So pushing, chest press, tricep press, squat. And then the pulling days like deadlift, row, bicep curls, and a couple other movements. But both of them, you're training with one set per exercise, and you're trying to get the greatest amount of force created in every one of those workouts. And you do that, you basically grow every single time.
Is this the device? Is this the invention?
That's it. And that's Terrell Owens, NFL Hall of Famer, using it.
All right, excellent.
He's in his fifth. No, I think he's 49, and he just ran a 40 in 4.3 seconds.
All right. So we're seeing these exercises being performed here. I mean, this is, of course,
a bicep curl.
a still, yeah. And so basically, you use these bands as such.
Yeah,
and
very heavy bands. And they run through a ground plate, so they run under your feet, but they can move freely, so they don't twist your ankles. Here's a group of professional athletes. You roll over each picture, and you can see the name of the person. And these are all professional athletes who have given me a free endorsement. So I don't think it's worth anything if you pay for somebody to endorse you, because it doesn't mean your thing works. It means they got paid. So yeah, these guys are all at the top of their game. Most of them are NFL. I do a lot with the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat primarily uses X3, but I just don't have, it's a whole team that I work with. So I didn't want to put a whole bunch of pictures of like guys on all one team. All right. So you can see in this graphic right here where I'm pushing 550 pounds.
550 pounds? That's a lot. Huh.
It is a lot.
Is that possible with this? Okay, interesting. Wow, interesting. It's a pretty strong band. It's a pretty strong band.
It is a very strong band. Yeah, that's the elite band. That's not for beginners.
So for people who maybe not as strong as you, I believe I saw your image earlier, but people who are not as strong as you, do you have options for them and not a 500-pound band?
Of course. Yeah, in fact, that band right there is an accessory. Like that doesn't even come with the regular unit.
Okay.
Just so people know, half the people in the NFL can't even use that band.
Right. I certainly can't. Okay, let me go back here. Let me just scroll through this. So you
There's all
are
the movements.
showing couple of you are showing here. Let me just bring this up. You are showing a couple of images and exercises that people can perform, right? So this is a deadlift.
Yep.
This is a front squat, right? Let me just go
Yep.
this way. Overhead press,
Yep.
triceps press, chest press that we just saw previously.
That's right.
And to go this way, so a couple of exercises we can do with this. Bent row, biceps curl, calf raises. Okay, interesting. So it comes, all right, there is a base. There is a
Yeah.
base that you can
Platform
use.
you stand on.
Platform.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's important.
Split squats. Okay, excellent. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate you as a valuable viewer. And if you liked this segment, you can watch all of the different individual segments or the whole podcast to have a broader understanding on this topic. Just check the links in the description or what you see on the screen right now. I'm Dr. Umer Khan. Looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you.